Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is September 8th, 2022. It's on Thursday. It's sunny outside. Are you getting along with your neighbors? Do you have a classmate in your neighbors? Do you have a classmate in your neighbors? Do you have a party with your neighbors? Do you sometimes have a party with your neighbors? Do you have a good neighbor? Do you have good neighbors? Are you a good neighbor? Do you sometimes have a dinner with your neighbor? Do you have a classmate in your neighbor? Do you have a coworkers? Do you have coworkers in your neighbors? A new neighbor moved here. A, mo- a new neighbor moved here recently. Neighbor. Do you have a good neighbor? Are you a good neighbor? I sometimes have a dinner with a neighbor. Is it normal to have a party with the neighbors? We used to come back home together after the traveling. I used to come back home with my neighbor from our travel. My favorite movie is My Neighbor Totoro. I want you to watch it. It's very lovely. I wish I could meet a Totoro. Have you watched My Neighbor Totoro? My Neighbor Totoro. My favorite movie is My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. All of my classmates used to live in nearby city, in nearby town. In the festival, many people from neighbor cities come visit to enjoy the festival. Every summer, many people from neighbor cities come visit this town to see the festival, to enjoy fireworks display. My favorite movie is My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. My classmates are neighbor. My classmates are neighbor. Totoro might be neighbor to my house. I hope so. My favorite movie is My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. Is it normal to have a party with neighbors? %90 of the employees come from neighbor cities. The junior high school consists of students from neighbor cities, neighbor towns. The company mostly consists of neighbor employees. 90% of the employees of the company are neighbor employees. I gave away the ticket to neighbor person sitting next to me. I gave away the ticket to the neighbor person sitting next to me. The junior high school consists of neighbor students. The junior high school is composed of mostly neighbor students. The junior high school mostly consists of neighbor students. The company mostly consists of neighbor employees. The company mostly consists of neighbor employees. The junior high school consists of neighbor students. The junior high school consists of neighbor students. The junior high school consists of neighbor students. The junior high school is composed of neighbor students. My favorite movie is My Neighbor Totoro. I want you to watch it. It's very lovely. The junior high school is composed of mainly neighbor students. The company mostly consists of neighbor employees, neighbor employees, neighbor employees. Only 10% of employees come from foreign countries. Most of the employees of the company are from the city where the company is located. Most of the employees working in the company are from the city where the company is located in. The company is mostly consists of neighbor employees, neighbor employees, neighbor employees. The junior high school is composed of neighbor students, 100%. All of the students are from the city. The company is composed of neighbor employees. The junior high school is made of neighbor students, neighbor students. I used to be the neighborhood. I used to live in the town. The city is my neighborhood, to where I'm living now. If you arrive at the airport within my neighborhood, I can pick you up. If you come visit somewhere nearby my house, I can pick you up. We can meet. If you come visit my neighborhood, I can pick you up and we can meet. Maybe we can go for sightseeing. We can go on a sightseeing. We can go on a trip. If you can visit my neighborhood, we can meet and enjoy sightseeing together. Neighborhood. The neighborhood is deemed very dangerous. The neighborhood is thought to be very dangerous. The neighborhood is considered as very dangerous. As the locals put it, the neighborhood seems very dangerous. The neighborhood is deemed to be dangerous. The neighborhood is thought to be very dangerous. The neighborhood is considered to be as very dangerous. The neighborhood is regarded as dangerous. The neighborhood is viewed as dangerous. The neighborhood is seen as dangerous. I try not to accuse anyone for their mistakes. Some people try to accuse others for anything. They are good at finding fault with others. Some people are good at finding fault with others. Some people are good at finding fault with others. Are you good at finding fault with others? We shouldn't try to find fault with others. We should try not to find fault with others. We should mind our business. Mind our own business. Mind your own business. It's none of your business. The employee was accused of being late for the workplace 3 times in a row, on 3 consecutive days. The employee was accused of being late for the workplace on 3 consecutive days, on 3 successive days, on 3 successive days, on 3 successive days, on 3 consecutive days, 3 days in a row. The man was accused of being late for the school for 3 days in a row. The politician was accused of sleeping in the session. The politician was accused of sleeping in the session. The student was accused of being late for school 3 consecutive days, on 3 consecutive days, on 3 successive days, 3 days in a row. The opposite word of the accuser is the accused. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. But the accused kept silent, remained silent, stayed silent, held silent. Accuser and the accused. The accuser and the accused. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. The opposite word of accuser is the accused. The opposite word of accuser is the accused. Accused. Accuser. Accuser. The accuser asked some questions to the accused. 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 The accused kept silent. The accused never answered the questions. The accused never responded to the questions from the accuser. The accused never answered the questions asked by the accusers. The accused kept silent. The accused kept silent and never answered the questions by the accusers. The accused kept silent and never responded to the questions asked by the accuser. I don't like accusing Luke. I try not to be accusing Luke. I try not to be accusing Luke. When I get strange emails, I tend to look at them with accusing look. When I get emails from strange email addresses, I tend to look at them with accusing look, accusing look, accusing look, accusing look. When I put forward my crazy ideas to my boss, he looked accusing. He looked accusing. He seemed accusing. He appeared accusing. He appeared accusing. When I put my ideas forward to my boss, he looked accusing. When I submitted my crazy ideas to my boss, he looked accusing. He looked accusing. He looked accusing. When I submitted, handed in, turned in, turned in, turned in, handed in, turned in, handed in my proposal to my boss, he looked accusing, 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 accusing. I try not to be accusing look. And when we deviate from the common sense, people tend to look at us with accusing look. When we deviate from the common sense, people tend to look at us with accusing look. When we deviate from common sense, people are inclined to look at us with accusing look. Accusing look. When we deviate from common sense, people are apt to look at us with accusing look. Accusing. 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 Accusing, 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 accusing look. When I put forward my idea to my boss, he looked accusing. He looked accusing. He looked accusing. He looked like accusing. He looked as if he had been accusing. He looked as if he had been accusing. He looks as if he was accusing. He looks as if he was accusing. He looks as though he was accusing. When we deviate from common sense, people tend to look at us with accusing look, accusing look, accusing, accusing, accusing. The bomb was disposed of safely in the ocean by the self-defense forces. Bomb bombs are sometimes used to take down a building. Bombs are sometimes used to take down a building. The building is scheduled to be taken down by being bombed. The old building is scheduled to be taken down by being bombed. The building is scheduled to be taken down by being bombed. According to the history, the area was bombed. The fighter planes bombed the area. When I was exploring the mountain, I found a bomb shelter. When I was exploring the mountain, I found a bomb shelter, and we entered the bomb shelter. When we were exploring the mountain, we found a bomb shelter. When we were exploring the mountain, we found the bomb shelter. When we were exploring the mountain, we found bomb shelter. When we were exploring the mountain, we found a bomb shelter. Bomb shelter. Bomb shelter. When we were exploring the mountain, we found a bomb shelter. Bomb disposals is expected to be conducted by the self-defense forces on that day. The self-defense forces is going to conduct bomb disposal in the ocean soon. The self-defense forces is going to conduct bomb disposal. The bomb disposal was conducted in the ocean safely by self-defense forces. The bomb disposal was conducted safely in the ocean by the self-defense forces. When we were exploring the mountain, we found a bomb shelter. The bomb disposals were conducted. Safely in the ocean. The bomb disposals are expected to be conducted on that day. The bomb disposals are scheduled for on that day. The bomb disposals are scheduled for Sunday. The fighter airplane, the fighter aircraft bombed the area. The fighter aircraft bombed the area, region, devastating many buildings. The fighter airplanes bombed the area, devastating many buildings. The building will be taken down by being bombed. The building will be taken down by being bombed. The building was bombed as taken down. The building was bombed. The fighter aircraft bombed the area, bombed the region. The fighter aircraft 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 bombed. The fire aircraft bombed. The fighter aircraft bombed above the region. The fighter aircraft bombed above the region. The fighter aircraft bombed above the region. During the World War II, the fighter aircraft bombed above many regions. During the World War II and I, the fighter aircraft bombed above many regions. Do not touch the object, it might explode, it might blow up. It might bomb. Do not touch the object, it might blow off. It might set off, it might bomb. In the museum, you can see bombers displayed inside. I saw some bombers displayed in the museum. Bomber. I saw some bombers at the museum exhibited inside. I saw some bombers exhibited inside of the museum. I saw some bombers exhibited in 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 the museum. Bomber. 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 Bomberman. Bomberman was one of my favorite video games. Bomberman was my favorite video games. Bomberman series was my favorite video game. Bomberman was one of my favorite video games. Bomber, 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 bomber. My skin problem sometimes attacks me, often attacks me. My skin rashes often attacks me, frequently attacks me. Actually, my skin problems attack me every day. The skin problems make an attack on me every day. The disease makes an attack on me every day. The element makes an attack me every day. Makes an attack on me every day. Stop making an attack on me. Stop making an attack on me. Making an attack on me. Stop making an attack on me. The army is focused on making an attack on the central city. The army planned to make an attack on mainly on the central city. The army planned to make central attack on the central city. The army planned to make an attack on the central city mainly. Fortunately, the temple was not made an attack on. Fortunately, the area, blessed with many cultural heritage sites, were not made an attack on. We will make an attack on our workload tomorrow. We will make an attack on the new project from tomorrow. My skin problems make an attack on me every day. Stop, please stop making an attack on me. Please stop making an attack on me. Please stop making an attack on particular thing. The army is discussing making an attack on the city at dawn. I hope my heart attack won't act up during the trip. A heart attack a heart attack, 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 a heart attack, a heart attack, attack, a heart attack, attack, a heart attack, a heart attack, attack, a heart 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 attack. My skin problems attack me every day. My skin problems attack me every day. My skin rashes attack me every day. My disease attack me every day. My skin problems attack me every day. My disease attacks me every day. Let's attack the pile of work tomorrow. Let's attack a heap of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack a heap of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack get down to a heap of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack get down to the heap of tasks tomorrow. A pile of tasks tomorrow. Let's get down to a pile of tasks tomorrow. Today we should go home and have a rest for the next day, for tomorrow. I've been attacked by the disease since I was born. I've been attacked by the disease since I was born. I've been attacked by the disease since I was born. I have been attacked by the disease since I was born. I have been attacked by the disease since I was born. The skin rashes attack me every day. Let's get down to a pile of tasks tomorrow. Let's get down to a heap of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack the heap of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack a pile of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack a pile of tasks tomorrow. Let's attack a pile of tasks tomorrow. The region was attacked in 1945. The region was attacked in 1945. I have been attacked by the disease since I was born. I have been attacked by the disease since I was born. Attacker, 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 attacker. Were you the attacker of the team? Were you the attacker of the soccer team? Were you the attacker of the baseball team? Were you the attacker of the volleyball? Were you the attacker? Were you the attacker of the volleyball? The attackers were captured in the security camera. The attackers were captured by the security camera. The attacker was captured breaking into the facility by the security camera. The attackers were captured in the security camera, breaking into the house, breaking in the facility. Attacker. The attacker was captured breaking into the facility by the security camera. Attacker, 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 attacker. Attacker, 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 attacker. The attackers were captured breaking into the facility in the security camera. The attackers were prevented from breaking into the facility due to the inclement weather. The attackers were prevented from proceeding by the typhoon. Fog and mist. The attackers were prevented from proceeding by the fog and mist. I'd like to strike a home run in my life anytime soon. I'd like to strike a home run. I'd like to strike a home run anytime soon. I'd like to strike a home run anytime soon. Because my life hasn't been going well until now. So I'd like to strike a home run this year, and I would like to change my life 100 degrees differently. The movie struck my heart, which changed my life thoroughly, radically, tremendously, extraordinarily. Typhoons strike Japan every year, unfortunately. Unfortunately, typhoon strikes Japan every year. Typhoons strike Japan every year. The machine strikes the beast constantly 24 hours. The machine strikes the beast into the wood constantly 24 hours a day. The machine can strike the beast into the wood constantly. The machine keep striking the beast into the wood, timber, constantly. The machine keep striking the beast into the wood constantly. One feature of the anger of the boss is to strike the desk, hit the desk. One feature of the boss's anger is to striking the desk. Do you like to strike a ball? Do you like to strike a ball? To the fans' surprise, the batter struck home runs on three consecutive turns, on three successive turns. To the fans' surprise, the batter struck home run, took home run on three consecutive turns, on three successive turns. I'm practicing how to strike home run. I'm learning to strike a home run in the huge stadium. Can you strike a home run in the huge stadium? The machine can strike base into the wood constantly. The machine can strike a base into the wood constantly. The machine can keep striking the base into the wood constantly. The machine keep striking the base into the wood 24 hours every day. Unfortunately, I struck my arm on the railroad because I was walking with my eyes closed. When I got up, which is super crazy for me. I struck my arms against the wall, against a railroad, because I was walking with my eyes closed. Do you have the same experience? I struck my arms against on the wall. I struck my arm, actually my hand. I struck my left hand on the railroad because I was walking with my eyes closed. I will never have the same experience. We can learn from the lessons. We can learn from the mistake. Without mistakes, we cannot grow. Without mistakes, we cannot know the truth. We cannot improve. Without mistakes. So thanks to the mistakes, for example, this time my hand bumping into the railroad, I will try not to do the same mistakes again next time. I saw the car crashing into the wall, electrical pole. I saw a car striking against the electrical pole. I saw a festival float called Danjiri striking into the house. I saw a festival float called Danjiri striking into the house. I sometimes strike my body on the wall. I sometimes strike my body against the wall. I sometimes strike my body against other pedestrians in the crowded stations. I sometimes strike my body against other pedestrians in the crowded stations. I saw the car striking on the wall. I saw the car striking on the wall. I saw a car striking into the shopping mall. I struck my arm on the wall. I struck my arm on the wall by mistake. I will not make the same mistake again. I struck my arm on the wall. I struck my arm against the wall. I sometimes strike my arm on the wall. I sometimes strike my toes on the threshold, door threshold. I sometimes strike my toes on the door. I sometimes strike my toes on the wall, on the door, on the railroad, on the handrail. I sometimes strike my toes, foot fingers on the door. I sometimes strike my foot fingers on the wall, on the door, on the handrail. Typhoons strike Japan every year. Typhoons strike Japan every year. Typhoon struck again. Typhoon struck again. Typhoon strikes every year in Japan. Typhoon strike every year in Japan. Typhoon strike every year in Japan. The machine is constantly striking. 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 The employees are planning to go on a strike. The employees is planning to strike. The employees are planning to strike. The employees are going to strike against the employers. The employees are going to strike. Typhoons strike every year in Japan. The machine is constantly striking. The machine keeps striking. The machine keeps striking. The machine keeps striking constantly, continuously, consecutively, successively. The machine is constantly striking. He struck. Did he strike a home run? Yes, he struck. Did he strike a home run? Yes, he did. He struck. He struck. Does typhoon strike Japan every year? Yes, it strikes. It strikes. They strike. They strike. Are the employees of the company going to go on a strike? Yes, they will. They will have a strike. The employees of the company are going to strike. The team is The aim of the soccer team, is to strike down the strongest team in this season, because the two teams have the match on the tournament. The aim, purpose, target of the soccer team is to strike down the opponent, which is the considered strongest team in this season, most winning team. The target, the aim, the purpose of the soccer team is to strike down the opponent, which is known as the strongest team in this season. The newly discovered evidence struck down his testimony, turned over the truth. The newly discovered decisive evidence struck down his testimony. And it turned out that his testimony was false. The newly discovered evidence struck down his testimony. It turned out that his testimony was false. The soccer team is having a hard practice to strike down many strong opponents. The soccer team is having a hard practice to strike down other opponents, strong opponents. The soccer team is having a hard practice to strike down strong opponents. The soccer team is having a hard practice to strike down the opponents, strong opponents. The soccer team is having a hard practice to strike down the opponents, strong opponents. Strike down. I'm preparing enough to strike down the difficult examinations. I'm studying so hard to strike down the difficult examinations. I usually try to strike down my weaknesses, my weak point, and trying to get them over, trying to overcome them, trying to go over them, to go them over. I try to strike down my weaknesses, but I couldn't, so I gave up sometimes. I gave up sometimes. I usually try to strike down difficulties, but I sometimes cannot get them over and give up. The weak soccer team finally struck down the strongest team in this season, thanks to hard practice, thanks to daily hard practice. The strongest soccer team, which is predicted to win the championship, was struck down by the middle-ranked team. The strongest soccer team in this season, which is predicted to win the championship at the tournament, was struck down by the middle reputed team. I'm preparing so much to strike down the difficult examinations. I'm preparing a lot in order to strike down the difficult examinations. I'm preparing a lot so as to strike down the difficult examinations. The employees of the company is going to go on a strike. The employees of the company is going to go on a strike. The employees of the company is going to go on a strike. The employees of the company is going to go on a strike. The employer doesn't want the employees to go on a strike. The employer doesn't want the employees to go on a strike. The employer, we don't like the employees to go on a strike. The employers and the customers of the train company don't want employees to go on a strike. The employer doesn't want the employees to go on a strike. The employer does not want the employees to go on a strike. The employer doesn't want the employees to go on a strike. The employer doesn't want the employees to go on a strike. The railroad company went on a strike again, which affected many commuters. The railroad company went on a strike, which affected many commuters. Which had an effect on many commuters. Some people are striking without explanation, naturally. Some people are striking everywhere they appear. Some people are striking everywhere they appear. They exist, they appear, they go. Some people are naturally striking everywhere. Some people are naturally striking wherever they go. Some people are naturally striking wherever they go, no matter where they go. Some people are striking no matter where you go, no matter where they go. So some people are striking no matter where they go, wherever they go. Walking with samurai costumes will be striking everywhere. Walking with samurai costumes will be striking everywhere. Walking with yukata or light summer cotton kimono will be striking. Walking with yukata, summer cotton kimono will be noticeable, standing out, striking. Deviating from the common sense will be striking, especially in Japan. Striking, 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 striking. He had a striking speech at the meeting. He had an eloquent and striking speech at the meeting. He delivered a striking speech at the meeting. He made a striking speech at the meeting. He delivered a striking speech at the meeting. Striking, striking. I wore a striking costume to the party. I wore a striking clothes to the party. It was not difficult to find you because you were wearing such a striking hat in the crowd. It was so easy to find you in the crowd because you were wearing such a striking red hat. Some people are naturally striking wherever they go. Some people are naturally striking wherever they go. His speech was such a striking. His speech was striking. His speech at the university was striking. The video of his speech is still being played a lot daily. The video of his speech still being played a lot daily. Striking, 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 striking. Striking, striking. 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 He made a striking speech at the meeting. He delivered a striking speech at the meeting. He delivered a striking speech at the meeting. Striking. Striking. Not all of the pieces are striking. Not all of the songs released by the professionals or musicians are striking. Only a few songs or pieces are striking. Not many people are striking. Not all of the people are striking. Striking. I was exhausted strikingly, so I skipped taking the class. I was so exhausted. I was really worn out after the hard practice of the club activity. So I skipped the first class on the next day, on the following day. Strikingly, 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 strikingly. The Japanese yen is dropping strikingly now. The Japanese yen is dropping significantly, tremendously, exorbitantly, extraordinary. The dollar is going up strikingly, strikingly, strikingly. Strikingly, 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 strikingly. Some people proceed, advance in the level of something strikingly, while others don't. Some people advance and proceed in the level of something, while others don't. Some people proceed significantly, strikingly. The progress of some people in the level of something is so fast, strikingly, while others are not. The progress speed of some people are so fast, strikingly, while others are not. The speed of the progress of some people in a field is so fast, while others are not, strikingly, strikingly. The future technology, especially the medical advances, might promise to eradicate my disease. The future medical advances might eradicate my current disease. The future medical advances might promise to eradicate my disease. Can you promise me that you never give up? Can you promise me that you never give up, no matter what prevents you, no matter what obstructs you, no matter what criticizes you? Can you promise me that you will never give up until you achieve your goal, no matter who criticizes you, no matter what obstacles you, no matter what other people say? Some of the students in this school promise to pass examination. Some of the students in this class promise entering the university because they are good at getting higher score on examinations, enough to enter the university. Some of the students in this class promise to enter the university because their score of the examinations are enough to enter and enough to be passed. When did I promise you that? Did I really promise you that I would give away my old guitar to you after my usage? When did I promise you that I would give away my used guitar to you? You promised me that you would return the money you borrowed from me to me within a week. You promised me that you would return the money to me within a week. You promised me. You promised that to me. You promised that to me. I did promise. You did promise. You did promise. I did promise. Some of the promises were not made. Some of the promises were not made in my life. Some of the promises between my friends and me were not made. Some of the promises made by my friends were not met. Some of the promises made by my friends were not met, which means they betrayed. In the course of our life, some people will betray us, which is terrible, right? But thanks to the hardship, we can grow up and become stronger. Some students in this class promise to pass examinations. Some students in this class might promise. None of the students in this class promise. None of the students in this class promise. Everyone promises. Everyone promises. Everyone promises. Everyone promises. Everybody promises. Everybody promises. Everybody promises. Everybody promises. The medical advances in the future might promise to eradicate my skin problems. The medical advances in the future might solve, deal with, treat, cure my skin problems. Promise. There are some promises not met by my friends. There are some promises or many promises not met by my friends. The promises were not met. The promises made by the politician were not met. Many promises made by people are not met. Many promises made by people are not met, which means we are betrayed, which is not good. The entrepreneur showed promise as early as when he was 10 years old. The entrepreneur showed promise as early as 9. Some successful people will not show their promise until later in their life. Until late in their life. And some people will not show their promise until latter part of their life. Some people show promise in earlier phase of their life, while others are not. Others don't. Some people show their promise in their earlier life, but others don't. Some successful people show their promise in their latter life. The new employee showed promise as soon as he entered the company. The new employee showed promise as soon as entering the company. The new employee showed promise as soon as he entered the company. The new employee showed promise on entering the company. The new employee showed promise as soon as he entered the company. He showed promise as soon as he entered the company. The new employee showed promise as soon as he entered the company. He showed promise on entering the company. Some people show their promise. Some people show promise at earlier stage of their life. Some people show their promise at the latter phase of their lives. Some people show their promises. Some people show promise at latter phase of their lives. Some people show promise at the latter phase of their lives. Latter part of their lives. While others show promise in earlier phase of their lives. Earlier part of their lives. In earlier life. Some people show promise. Some people show promise in earlier life, while others show promise in later life. The new employee showed promise as soon as he entered the company. The pianist showed promise as early as 4 years old. The pianist showed promise as early as 4 years old. He started to show his talent as early as 4 years old. The pianist showed promise as early as 4 years old. The pianist showed promise as early as 5 years old. The pianist showed promise as early as 4 years old. The pianist showed promise as early as 4 years old. Can you make a promise? Can you make the promise? If you cannot make the promise, if you cannot make the promise come true, please do not make a promise. Do you remember making a promise to me? Do you remember making the promise to me? Do you remember making the promise to me? There are some promising people. There are many promising people out there. There are many promising people everywhere. Promising. The new employees are promising and expected in the future, for the future. The new employees are promising and expected. The new employees are promising and expected by other employees, senior employees. Promising, promising, promising. Promising, promising. The human resources want to hire promising employees. The human resources are rushing to hire promising employees. The human resources are rushing to hire promising employees. The IT company started promisingly. The IT company started promisingly. The IT company started promisingly. The IoT company will start promisingly from now. The IoT company will start promisingly. The sushi restaurant started promisingly. The sushi restaurant opened promisingly. The golfer started his first day promisingly. The golfer decorated his first day promisingly. The golfer won the championship promisingly. The golfer started his first day at the championship as winning the championship promisingly, 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 promisingly. The research for eradicating the disease is proceeding promisingly. The research for eradicating the disease is proceeding promisingly. The new year started promisingly. The new year started promisingly with winning the lottery, although it was only 10,000 yen. The new year started with winning the lottery promisingly. The new year started promisingly. The new year started promisingly by winning the lottery, although it was only 10,000 yen. Now it's like $80 US dollars, about, approximately, about, promisingly. I hope next year also start promisingly. I hope every year will start promisingly. I hope every year will start promisingly. Promisingly. The sales figures of the company has been increasing promisingly. A pile of tasks has been dealt with promisingly. A pile of problems have been solved gradually, promisingly. The opening of the shop started promisingly, with the sales figures of more than expected. The newly opened shop, finished the first day promisingly, with the income more than expected. The newly opened shop finished the first day promisingly. The bakery shop opened promisingly, with a lot of advertisement by the YouTubers. The bakery shop opened promisingly. Some of my university students, some of my friends from university entered the company, which was promising in the future, which was growing promisingly. Some of my friends from the university entered the company, which was growing promisingly, which was growing promisingly. Some of my friends from the university entered the company, which was expected promisingly, which was expected promisingly. Promisingly, 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 promisingly. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.